What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, where today we're reviewing the Captain Sim 767 400ER add-on that just came out. Now, I did a short 59-second video yesterday to give y'all some looks at it, and I kind of got the response I was expecting, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first off, I loaded her up, and to be honest, the model isn't bad. Now, Captain Sim doesn't have another 767 400ER, which kind of surprises me. I'm kind of surprised to see that they're not putting her in the P3D category, since they already have a 767 line there with the 300ER, and I think they might have talked about 200ER or 200F. So, kind of surprising. This really caught me completely off guard. Now, the first thing I noticed is the model doesn't look half bad. I'm pretty happy with the exterior model. That said, there's some stuff we gotta talk about. Now, Captain Sim, I used to have no real issue. The prices for their planes were usually pretty good. They weren't study level aircraft, and that's okay, because there is a huge market, especially with Flight Sim 2020, where we have this whole thing where it's open to people that probably would have never bought it before, and we don't need study level aircraft to be the aircraft that comes out. You need some easier planes that are more plug in and fly and have fun. Completely okay. That being said, to be honest, this is a very much buyer beware, and this is kind of a plane I'm not going to fly until we get some mods for it. And let's talk about why. We're going to go into the cockpit, and we got some icing going on. Don't worry. Yeah, you're going to notice something right off the bat. That, this is a 777 cockpit, and it looks like they ripped it straight from the 777. Now, here's the thing, which is kind of weird about the 400ER. It's only being used by two airlines, Delta and United, formerly Continental, and it has a very interesting thing where it's a 67-400 or 67-300, and they stretched it and they put a 777 cockpit in it. So it's a very hybrid aircraft in terms of stuff. And the reason they did that is, from what I understand, they Continental especially wanted the ability to have their 777 pilots being able to fly this for the sake of the pilot groups, for whatever reason. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull up this picture, which, let me double check, it's being shown. So yes, this is a 400ER cockpit. Now we can see it does look pretty similar to a 777 cockpit, but there's also some differences. So let's make this small, and here, let me do this and this, and we can kind of point out some stuff that's different. Oops. So, oh, I know what's going on. Well, the first thing I notice is we're missing 2 gauges there. Over here looks pretty much the same, and over here we can't see in the photo. So overall, it looks relatively close to the same. And let's take a look. If we look, yeah. So we notice the button setup is pretty similar. Now they are using the older 67 type of display here, with very much the green buttons. If you ever flown the 57 or 67 in the sim or been in the cockpit real life, I don't think they're actually LCD screens. I don't know what they are, and they might be LCD, but they have this kind of very green, not crisp and clean looking displays down here. Also, up here looks pretty close to the same. Close enough that it works. And everything else, for the most part, looks pretty on par with what we have in the sim. Minus the 777 has this, I think what this is actually a touchpad for the pilots to use. And that works over here. However, I don't think most of the sims have that as a working feature. At least that I can see. I think PMG 777-300ER had something like that that you could use. I can't remember. It's been a while since I used it. And let me go down here and pop this picture up again. Looks pretty on par. We can see the differences are really there in the kind of the colors. While the 777 is this kind of crisp black and white. This is more of orange and a tint of orange for the lettering, and then we have the green up here. So overall, not different enough where it's gonna ruin my immersion. I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, really the only thing that I can look at and was like, wow, that's a difference, were the lacking of the 2 instrument panels here and the difference in the color here and here. Now, that being said, doesn't bother me because realistically the cockpits are the same. I do know that I think the 777 cockpit itself is wider than the 67 400ER cockpit, and I think that is simply because I think the fuselage is wider. I will double check that and see if I can find out, and I'll just throw an annotation on the screen. Now up top, the one thing I dislike about the Captain Sim, and this is personal, is as far as I know, it's just the way that looks. The green tint is just so it's just so overpowering, and that's just kind of a personal annoyance of mine, where it's just really that shiny green. Ugh, I just don't like the look of it. Now, the other thing is, this is very much like their 777, and I'm just gonna pull the speed brake back to get out of the way, because they use the 400ER. No, what am I saying? 400ER. Sorry, I have the 400ER stuck in my head. They use the 747-8 as the base model. As you can see, we have engine 1 and 4. That's the only thing. Now, I was reading on the forums about it, and I have yet to have a chance to fly this. But the performance, gross weight 707,000 pounds. Sorry, 771,000 pounds. I'm sorry. So you're going to be using 747 weights, which personally for me, I dislike, because at that point, it really makes planning just difficult. So if you're going to use this with SimBrief, I'm guessing you're going to have to use a 747-8 as the, you know, for performance numbers and to get your fuel and to make sure you're within range. Which hopefully I'm going to see some mods come out that are going to fix this, which would be very nice. I think overall, the mod community is probably going to step up and make this to where a lot of these small things are not going to be as big of an issue or are going to be fixed. So in terms of functionality with this, the FMC, if the 777 can do it, this can do it. If the 777 can't do it, or the 47 can't do it, this won't be able to do it. So that is a big thing. Now, this plane retails for $29.99, which I think is not a bad price, especially considering the model. I mean, it has a very good model. Now, I mean, all the control surfaces work and are modeled in. But here's gonna be my honest opinion. Now, I normally would take her and fly and show how it looks while taking off, but I don't see an issue, or I don't see a reason doing that. My personal opinion is I'm not gonna purchase this. if I wasn't making this video, I wouldn't purchase this. And there is one main reason for that. If I'm buying a 67, I want to buy a 67. This is very much a remodel with the 777 cockpit thrown in, which, in their defense, same cockpit for the most part. I get it. But I don't like having to use 747 weights. I don't like not having engine sounds that sound different than the 747. So that's something to keep in mind. It's gonna sound exactly like the 747. And I kind of just angry with the company personally. I think that they offered some decent stuff in the past. I love their 67-300 for P3D. Their 57, their 777-200ER was the first add-on I got back in Flight Sim. And I don't like this throwing a really good model and not having their own systems. So my thing is gonna be, I'm probably not gonna fly this. I don't like needing to buy a plane and then waiting for mods to come out. That's kind of where I'm at. That being said, if you care mostly about what the outside of the aircraft looks like, and you really just want a 67 to fly around in, which I get it, that's a lot of people, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, this is worth it. For $30, this is a good model. And I think the big thing is we're not going to see another 67 for a while. Now, that is mostly uneducated. That is going off of the 767. We only recently got one 2 years ago in prepared 3D. And I know PMDG has teased a 757. But we have not heard anything about a 767 in the pipeline. Captain Sim's the only one that offered one for P3D. So, I would not hold your breath. And, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate the position we're in where we have a lot of people trying to throw out aircraft because there's no competition. And there's no reason to not throw out a aircraft just to have the aircraft out. It makes sense because you have the bar set so low, you don't have to offer a lot to be the only one in the market. Captain Sim did with the 777 series, and like I said, I understand it. It is annoying, and I at least think in their defense this time, they're being a little more transparent in terms of being very, hey, this is what this offers. But ultimately, I would not buy this aircraft if I wasn't making this video. I think it is not up to par with what I expect from the aircraft I buy. And for the immersion factor, not worth it. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope that I present this in enough way that you can make your own decision and you don't just rely on mine. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. Until next time, have a good one. Goodbye.